$21,500 is the amount of money I was able to make yesterday dropshipping. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you a 5-day action plan on how to start a profitable dropshipping store using the right strategy. Chances are you're fed up of all the content online teaching outdated and saturated strategies that no longer work in 2023. Well, don't worry, I got you covered. Over the last 7 years, I've made over $10 million through dropshipping, and I'm going to be giving you guys the resources you need to get your own business off the ground. So if you do enjoy this content, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Day 1, identify your niche and products. So to start off day 1, we need to set up our foundation. This is what our entire business is gonna be built on. So the first thing that I recommend deciding is whether you wanna go with a niche store or a one product store. This is gonna be an important decision. Now, in my opinion, both of these models are great choices, but there's subtle differences to each. A niche store is a business like Alpha Elite that focuses on selling specific products to a demographic. So in Alpha Elite's example, they're selling workout clothes to people who work out. Now, the opposite of that is a one product store. A one product store is pretty self-explanatory. It means you're only selling one singular product. Now, the benefits of a niche store is you might have a higher average order value and a longer lifetime customer value, but on the other end of the spectrum, one product stores usually have a higher conversion rate, and it's usually easier for beginners to start out. Now, even if you decide to use a niche store, we're gonna need to find products to add on to that niche store that are gonna be trending, or what we call a winning product in dropshipping. Now, I think this winning product term is quite flawed because you can make any product a winning product, but I'm going to be showing you guys some mechanisms to find products that are doing well right now. So there's 3 main methods that I recommend for beginners getting started. The first method is this tool called Minia, and what I like about this is they're able to pre-populate winning products daily that we can actually check out and see if they're viable products. So I recommend you go through some of the different options they have in here. And then another method that I recommend is Pippi Ads. This tool is really great. It helps us find different viral and trending products that are already going on. And the third method is to go on TikTok and look up hashtag TikTok made me buy it. And here you're going to be able to spot products that are going viral on TikTok. Now, these 3 methods are all great. So what I recommend you do is to create an Excel sheet, put 10 products on a list, and you're gonna wanna judge them with this very important criteria. Number 1, you wanna make sure that your product solves a big problem. For example, this posture corrector solves bad posture. Or number 2, it has a wow factor to a passionate audience. Now, for example, this could be a cool skirt that's going viral on TikTok. Now, it's pretty self-explanatory why you want it to have one of these 2 criteria. It's just gonna make your life selling these products so much easier because you have a unique value proposition. Now, the second criteria that I recommend you look at is the markup of the product. I don't recommend you sell any products that have less than a 3 times product price markup. So what does that mean? If you find a product on AliExpress for $10, you want to be able to sell it for $30. And that's at very minimum. If you don't have good margins, then your ability to make profit dropshipping is gonna be incredibly difficult. Now, the last recommendation for your product is that it's somewhat small. Having small products is gonna be so much easier when we go to scale our brand and actually start making sales. The smaller our product, the cheaper the shipping fees are, and yes, this does matter. Day 2, supplier selection and getting your store set up. Our focus on day 2 is to lock in our supplier and to make sure our store gets prepared to advertise. Now, the fastest and easiest way to get our store off the ground is using the artificial intelligence tool that I designed. How this tool works is super simple. Just go on the first link down in the description. It's gonna be completely free. Just enter your email in over here and you're gonna be taken to a page just like this. The first thing you're gonna do is choose your color scheme. So I'm gonna go with blue, and then all you need to do is click done. And then what you need to do is choose the banners that you want on your website. So you can click a couple of these right here, click done, and then all you need to do is click this green access Shopify link, and you can sign up for a completely free plan of Shopify. You're gonna get 90 days of Shopify for only $1, and after you signed up, just click done, and it's gonna take you through this super simple process, and after 12 minutes, you're gonna have a high converting theme implemented in your website and ready to go. Now, if you don't want to use our free AI setup, you can also click the link down in the description to sign up with my Shopify link. You're going to get exclusive access to our Shopify partnership that gives you the best price on Shopify that you can get right now. Now, the next thing that we need to decide is the supplier that we want to work with. There's multiple options for suppliers, and it can be pretty daunting as a beginner to decide where we want to source this product. So the most common methods right now are sourcing directly from AliExpress, which is a decent option. Now, the issues with this is you're gonna have somewhat slow shipping, and a lot of suppliers can be somewhat unreliable, especially if you have not worked with them before. Now, the alternative to this is a platform like Zendrop, which you can definitely use, and I recommend for some beginners, but by far the best method to go after is using a private agent. Now, unfortunately, private agents are not accessible to everyone. If you want me to connect you with my private agent, you can book a call with our team for a quantum branding application program where we guarantee you a profitable business in 30 days or your money back. Now, it's fine if you choose AliExpress or Zendrop to start off, because what we're going to use these suppliers for is really to gauge our viability of the product we're selling. And after we see that the product has traction and can be advertised profitably, we can always increase our shipping speed with different methods that are out there. Now, just make sure whatever product you found on day one, you can source with the supplier that you decide to choose from. And after you've locked that in, the last thing we need to do for day two is to choose our store name. This is vital. This is going to be the brand name that shows on our website. So let me give you some tips for deciding your store name. If you're doing a niche store, I recommend you come up with a name that relates to your target audience. For example, I have a mouse right here. If I was selling mouses on my website, I could call my brand name mouseworld.com, and that would be very relevant, and when people see that name, they know exactly what they're getting. Now, if you come up with a one product store, I recommend you come up with something super simple and something that describes what your product does and what problem it solves. So for example, I have a microphone here, and just a random name off the top of my head that I would call this product is the Podcast Pro, because people might want to use this microphone for podcasts, and you're relating to that target audience. So whatever brand name you come up with, just make sure that it makes sense and it's not just something random. Day 3, crafting your brand. Today is all about getting our brand foundation set up. This is a vital part to have longevity in our business, and if you do this right, it's going to help accentuate all of your marketing efforts. So the very first thing you're going to want to accomplish today is to design your store logo. Now, by far the easiest way to design a logo for beginners is by using a tool like Canva. The reason I use Canva to design logos, it's free and it's super easy. So you can come over their platform and they have this section called logo. Just click on it. And what I love is that they have all these templates that you can utilize to pick our logo out. And if you need any recommendations, you can type in here different categories. So for example, if you have a kitchen store, they have all these different templates over here, and you can just swap out the name. You can swap out different colors within here. And then all you need to do is click share, and then you want to download this image. And I recommend you download it with a transparent background so it can actually fit on your website properly. Now, one important thing that you're going to want to reference here is your brand color scheme. You want your brand colors to be congruent on your website and on your logo. So I recommend doing some research into color palettes that can match the vibe you're going for. So let me explain. A website like PetSmart.com, they go for this light blue color scheme, and that evokes a feeling of trust since people are buying for their pets. Now, you want to figure out what type of feeling you want your brand to evoke. For example, if you have a jewelry store, maybe something like black and yellow would be a good color scheme. Now, it depends on what products you're going to be selling, but it's important you knock this out before you get all of your assets created. Branding is a huge component in the success of our dropshipping store, and I always preach congruency. Take, for example, a brand like Apple. Everything is congruent, and that gives an amazing brand effect when you're looking at any of their assets. You want to create that same potential for your brand. Now, after you've done that, it's time to start adding products into our store. It's super simple to do this. Just go over to your Shopify account and click add product, and this is where you can title the product you're going to be selling. I recommend if you're doing a one product store that you name that exact product the name of your brand. So for example, if our brand name was Smart Mouse and we're selling a singular mouse, then you can name that product on Shopify Smart Mouse, and that will create that congruency and that branding effect that I was mentioning earlier. Now, once you added the product to your store, we need to talk about product page design. This is a vital component in order for our store being successful. The product page is essentially our salesman that works 24/7 for our business. So we want to optimize this as much as we can. So I've actually come up with a winning structure that's worked time and time again for my brands. And here's what it looks like. I'm also going to put it down in the description because it's rather complex for some beginners to implement. If you want my team to help implement this for your store, then you can click the link down below and get brand build coaching, where we're actually going to build all these assets out for you. But essentially it's a simple 13-step structure over here. So you're going to want to follow all the components on this, and after you've done that, your store is going to look somewhat similar to this product page. This follows the exact mechanisms that I'm telling you to go after, and as you see, this is a very compelling product page, and this is a very good salesman. You want to make sure you spend the time to do this so you're able to get sales and you're able to get them consistently. Now that you knocked your product page out, we're finished for day 3. Day 4, marketing our business. This is arguably the most vital step when it comes to creating your e-commerce business, because you could have the best product in the world, but if no one's going into your shop and looking at your products, then there's no way you're going to be able to get orders. And this is where I see most beginners get stumped. They build a shop and they wonder why sales aren't coming. And that's where we need to add traffic to our website. Traffic allows our product to be seen, and if our product's able to get eyeballs on it, then it means that we have a potential chance to get customers. So the very first thing that I recommend you do is to come up with a marketing strategy. Now this is going to be highly dependent on multiple variables. The first one is the budget that you're starting out with. If you have relatively low budget right now, then I recommend you start out with an organic approach on TikTok and Instagram Reels. This is super simple. This is where you order your product from the supplier and you use your phone to shoot content of that product and you post it up on platforms like TikTok and Instagram using viral trends. Now, while this is a good way to get started, it's very inconsistent and you're definitely going to struggle on being able to get consistent and repeatable traffic. So my favorite approach is learning how to buy advertisements on paid media platforms such as Facebook, TikTok, and Google Ads. These are the most popular platforms that I recommend right now, and I even have friends who are crushing it on Snapchat. So that's where you need to decide on what platform resonates most with your ideal customer demographic, and that's where you need to have market research on who's actually gonna buy your product. So if you're selling this microphone, for example, then you know you're advertising for creators, but what does that creator look like? Who are they? What does that demographic look like? Are they 40 years old? Are they African American? Are they Caucasian? You need to ask yourself this question, because once you can figure out some of these customer insights, you can make better data-driven decisions on where you want your product to be shown. Now, if you do decide to go with paid ads and you chose your platform, now we need to talk about creatives. Creatives are the advertisement that's going to be shown to a consumer when they're browsing on these social media platforms, and this is one of the other most important components of this business. Your creative is another asset on your sales team, so you want to make sure this creative is the best that it can be and it showcases the unique selling proposition behind your product. So there's 2 ways I recommend for beginners to get a creative off the ground. Number 1, you can order the product yourself and start filming some content with that product, showcasing the benefits behind what you're selling. Or number 2, you can outsource this to UGC creators. Now, I talked a lot about this in some of my other videos. I'll put a link above if you want to check that out. Now, it might take a few days to get your creative back, but once you've gotten your creative back, it's time to launch ads up. Launching ads is actually super simple. Your success of your ads is literally dependent on the creatives you're using. So I don't care how good the targeting is. In my opinion, your creative is the most important asset within that marketing category. So if you guys want me to make an in-depth video going over targeting on how to actually run Facebook and TikTok ads, you can let me know down in the comments and I'll definitely come out with a tutorial for you guys soon. But the next step you're going to need to do is to set up your social media accounts. This is a vital part of getting your business off the ground because when people search you up, you want some legitimacy to your brand. So I recommend creating a Facebook page and an Instagram profile for your business and post some content on those. You definitely don't want your business to look like it was just started last night. So now that you have your marketing strategy and all the components you need to get your brand ready to launch, let's move on to day 5. Day 5, store launch. Well, congratulations guys, you made it to your very last day and you followed all the steps that's required to get a profitable dropshipping brand started. So what do you need to do from here? Number 1, congratulate yourself because this is the official day of your launch and that's a big moment for you. So make sure to do a little bit of celebration, but understand that this is just the beginning of your journey. Even though your business is started, there's so many different components that we need to understand in order to make this a legitimate business. So the first thing you're going to need to understand is the importance of analytics and some key metrics that you're going to be looking at. The first topic I want to talk to you guys about is conversion rate. Conversion rate is a vital part of your business, and this is a metric that identifies how many customers out of 100 end up buying from your website. Now, why this is important, it's a key performance indicator that we can judge the success of our business off of. So for example, the Shopify average conversion rate is about 1.7%. Now in my experience, that's a pretty low conversion rate. So if you have lower than a 2% conversion rate, chances are you need to continue to optimize your product page, your creative, and your entire funnel to make sure that you get the highest ROI. If you don't optimize your conversion rate, you might have a good product, but your funnel's not strong enough in order to convert customers profitably. And this is the more advanced side of e-commerce. This is something you're not going to learn overnight. And that's why I recommend, if you're a beginner and you have budget and just want to start things the right way, that you join our quantum branding program. You can sign up for an application. It's taken me over 7 years to understand a lot of these components, and every day I improve upon them. So just understand that this is a growth mindset game, and you need to come in here every day wanting to learn, wanting to educate yourself. This is not a get rich quick scheme, but rather this is a business that needs constant tweaking and evolution in order to keep growing. So continue to grow, continue to learn, and let me know if there's anything you want me to dive deeper on that I did not cover inside this video. I hope this was valuable to everyone watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care and peace out.